It's time for Down on the Corner with Dale Hoffman, North Arkansas's premier news talk program. Brought to you by Brewed Awakening Coffee, with 3 locations to serve you. Baxter Regional Medical Center lobby, Highway 62 412 at Balmer Boulevard, and the Walmart East Plaza. And now, Down on the Corner.
Thank you, Jacqueline, and good morning, North Central Arkansas and South Central Missouri. It is Thursday, November 2nd, 2017. It's 7:01 in the morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Scooter and Jerry?
I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah.
Right. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed,
Bushy-tailed.
ready to go.
Nice warm day out.
Boy, I walked outside, had my jacket on. I thought, getting ready for that bitter chill. Mm-hmm. Woo! Warm and muggy.
Had to take my jacket off.
I did too. Mine's laying over there. Mm-hmm. Hey, be sure to check out Brewed Awakening Coffee, as you heard in the introduction. 3 locations to serve you: Balmer Boulevard at Highway 62, and of course BRMC Lobby, and Walmart East Plaza out by Anytime Fitness. How's your Brewed Awakening this morning, Jerry?
Very nice. It's a perfect 10W30 consistency.
Well,
Jerry
I gotta say, my Brewed Awakening mixed with the water in there.
He likes his diluted.
Apparently real diluted. It looks like tea.
check out all the other things they got at Brewed Awakening. We're gonna have some cinnamon buns here tomorrow. The cinnamon rolls. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna have cinnamon rolls and all kinds of goodies tomorrow. So anyway, let's take a look at your temperatures this morning. We've got 64 degrees, excuse me, in Mountain Home, at 63 at Harrison. Hardy, yeah, I got to say it, along the beautiful Spring River in Hardy. 65 degrees there. I love going through Hardy. Mountain View as well, beautiful little city down there, 61 degrees there. Yellville, Arkansas, 66. Marshall at 61. Poplar Bluff, Missouri checks in at 64, while Branson's at 59, and West Plains is at 62. Are we ready for that radar?
You bet.
Here we go. As you can see on the radar, there's not much in Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, or even Tennessee. We do have some shower activity showing up in New York, Pennsylvania, New England area. Seems like they've been getting a lot of the rain lately. It stretches back as far as Ohio and West Virginia. We'll take a look at the Little Rock stop. I don't see anything showing up. Your highways in Arkansas, 62, 412 east and west are clear. 65 to Branson in good shape today. Highway 167 towards Batesville out of Little Rock in good shape. Highway 63, Jonesboro to West Plains, clear as a bell. Interstates 30, 40, 49, 55 in good shape. Might as well take a look at Missouri, see what's going on there. Doesn't look like anything in Missouri. St. Louis region, from St. Louis to Poplar Bluff to Columbia, Jeff City, all the way down to Lebanon, I-44 in good shape. We'll take a look at Springfield real quick. If you want to use this radar, it's www.weather.gov. This is the National Weather Service radar right here. Looks like everything's in good shape along let me try that for the third time. Across the region, guys.
Yep.
Roads
are a little wet, but
yeah, the humidity. And I tell you what, I always use KY3's weather app, and they've always got like the humidity and the dew point, and it's really accurate. I really appreciate what they do at the storm team at KY3. Pulling it up now to see what do you think the dew point is? What would you guess?
Oh, 61.
Close. Dew point 62 with humidity at 93%.
See, I would have said 60. I would have went 1 point below and probably lost.
Well, Jerry, the World Series was won by a Texas team.
I know it.
My brother texted me last night and he says, who are you looking for in the series, L.A. or Houston? I said, these are 2 very good teams, both teams with 100-plus wins in the regular season. And for me, it was a flip of the coin. I like the Dodgers. Of course, I remember Tommy Lasorda, and he was good friends with a lot of the folks in St. Louis. When he'd come into St. Louis with the Dodgers, they'd play at Busch Stadium. He'd go and worship at the little Catholic cathedral there across from Busch Stadium, at the time Busch Stadium 2. And Jack Buck and Mike Shannon, and in the days even Harry Carey, would interview them on radio. And it was just kind of, you've got the rivalry between the Dodgers and Cardinals, and the Cubs and Cardinals, and Cincinnati and the Cardinals. But overall, Major League Baseball is kind of a family, and it was good to see Houston come off. That's the first World Series win in their existence.
I'm still trying to figure out how you related the Cardinals to having anything to do with this World Series.
Well, because normally we're in the World Series. It's just an off year for St. Louis.
It always goes to
Knowing that you're from Texas, I thought you'd feel good having a World Series trophy in Texas.
No, actually,
we had to build another trophy case in St. Louis.
I know you did, bragger.
And see, Chicago Cubs, they've had the same case for 108 years. They got one in there. I'll get a few phone calls on that one.
You bet you. No,
You
I hate.
probably are. We got to actually, not to interrupt, we need to start the show off right with a little bit of morning prayer.
Well, why don't we have that morning prayer? We got off on the World Series, and so we'll pause for our morning prayer. Heavenly Father, Lord, just more violence, this time in Colorado. A random gunman kills 3 people. And how devastating to the families for the upcoming holidays for those people to be so sad. Lord, have we entertained ourselves with so much violence and murder that we can't discern fantasy from reality? So my prayer today is that you heal our nation and make us aware of what we're doing. It's my prayer today. Amen.
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 And so,
Yeah, I hate to see you, Darvish, go through what he did. I think he had a 20-something point ERA in this World Series. He's better than that.
what about Kershaw?
Kershaw's just Kershaw. I mean, he did good, but you, Darvish, he blew it, man. It is what it is.
Both Game 7 pitchers were out by the 2nd or 3rd inning.
Mm.
Yeah, the relief pitchers for the rest of the game. I mean, it was 5-0 by the end of the second,
Yeah.
Houston, and that pretty well nailed the coffin lid shut for LA Dodgers. Jerry, what you got over here? The free gospel concert. You want to promote that real quick?
Yeah, that's Jerry Hopper. He has a couple people coming down from Branson. I think it's November 18th he'll be doing it, and if I'm not mistaken, it benefits the Alpha House.
Good.
So, yeah, Alpha House needs help, too. I mean, there's a lot of charities out there. They're all great, but, you know, the Alpha House,
That's Bill Webster's the director there, I believe.
Yeah.
No, doing good work there.
you betcha.
Wow.
And then Christmas season coming up. I mean, it's hard on a lot of those, you know, broken up families and all
Well, you know, and I'm
that.
thinking about the shooting in Colorado. It killed 3 people last night, and this is at a Walmart store in a suburb of Denver. And this is the 2nd of November, and now these families are shattered.
Mhm.
They're just shattered. I mean, who would think that you're not safe at Walmart? I mean, we go to Walmart and years gone by, hey, Dad, I'm going over to look at sporting goods, or I'm going over to look at the records and tapes, or we're going to go check out a new jacket or a new shirt, you know, and okay, we'll be back here in about 10 minutes.
Mhm.
You didn't have to worry. You
And
know?
they have a gazillion cameras everywhere, but, you know, some people just don't care about them cameras. That's why you got to kind of look out for yourself at some point. So
I know.
it is
Scooter,
what it is.
what's an old time for breakfast today?
Yeah, we've got 2 pancakes, 2 sausage and eggs, 2 bacon, $5.88. Can't miss it. We got open-faced turkey breast for lunch.
I had that last week. It was really good.
It's
you
always,
get 2 sides.
It's
yeah.
always a
Yeah.
big hit.
Wow.
Always a big hit. So
Always a big
stop
hit.
on by. We'll take care of you. I think both meals are $5.88, and lunch comes with 2 sides, roller cornbread. So you just can't beat it.
I had that last Thursday. Really good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Go in and ask for Amanda and give her a hard time for me.
You'll get a phone call on that one for sure. During this part of Down on the Corner now on XL7 TV, we need community updates. What's
Events.
going events? Call Jerry, call me, call Scooter, call the station, email.
Or
Let's get-
go on Facebook. Just simply type it out on one of the comments. We'll get her on there.
We'll get it on there for you. So
Betcha.
it's all about community. We're promoting local. Once again, I'm going to bring up the fact. You look at your calendar. Thanksgiving's on the 23rd, which I think is about the earliest you can ever have Thanksgiving, you know, the way the days fall in the week. But let's focus on shopping local. November 24th, 25th through the 30th. Dedicate November shopping to local. Try to get it all done locally. You can actually have almost a full week of shopping before December 1st, after Thanksgiving.
And
Well,
get
you
some
got-
cool.
And then you got the Black Friday, the events that go on, and what you save there. And I mean, even locally here,
Yeah, there's going to
everything's
be
got
some big
Black
things
Fridays
going on.
on. So
And I want to recognize a few folks that sent some nice comments over the new program. I've heard from people in Arnold, Missouri, friends, grade school friends, Arnold, Missouri, Maryville, Illinois, St. Louis area, and it's fun to hear from folks that are logging in and watching, and even had some folks from California logged in.
post in, let us know what you think. If there's something that you want to hear us talk about, or you want to hear what's going on in Mountain Home on a certain subject or something, let us know. We're happy to cover it.
Well, let's go ahead and take that break, and we'll bring Sheriff Montgomery on the set. We're going to be visiting with the sheriff for the rest of the program. So, Scooter, cue us up some good ads there.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Hello, I'm Charles Ferguson. Here at Mountain View Chevrolet, we still do business the old-fashioned way with honesty and integrity. And we have a good inventory of new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs from large to small. Our service department has all GM certified technicians, and our friendly salespeople are ready and eager to fit a car truck to your needs in a price range you can afford. We also have a lot full of pre-owned cars and trucks, program and new car trade-ins to choose from. So come see us at Mountain View Chevrolet.
If you want the best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with the Pie Lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home. More than just propane, Reeves Propane provides you full-service propane delivery as well as tank and piping installation. We are your dependable choice, offering the very best in personal service with on-time deliveries and competitive prices. Reeves Propane also sells and installs tankless water heaters and appliances and can even convert your gas cook stove to liquid propane. So no need to fuss and cuss about bad service. Call us at Reeves Propane. We greatly appreciate your business and God bless. Coming in 2018, VHF Archery Range, brought to you by DeerHunterFan.com TV and Steadyform. This 10,000 square foot indoor climate-controlled archery range will feature 3D targets, 3D pop-up, and state-of-the-art video shooting. DHF Archery Range will be open to the public and available for all ages. It's a great facility for hunters and archers alike and located in the center of the Ozarks in beautiful Bull Shoals, Arkansas. That's DHF Archery Range coming in 2018. Keep on the lookout for more details and their grand opening announcement soon.
Have you ever?
And we want to welcome Baxter County Sheriff John Montgomery to the XL7 Down on the Corner set. Sheriff, welcome.
Welcome.
We moved over to TV.
That's not good. You know, with my ugly mug, that's not good.
And we got me and Scooter sitting there and Jerry over there. We're scary. So Scooter could probably cover our faces with something that looks a little better, can't you?
I can try.
Can you Photoshop on video in real time?
No, I wish. Let me bring a logo. I'll put it up right
there.
There
you go. Just cross us out here. Anyway, how you been? Good to see you.
Doing great. Doing great.
Busy?
Still busy, which is not good in my line of work.
Yeah, true. I have to ask, though, you know, in your line of work, you look at New York and the rental from the Home Depot. 8 people lost their lives last night in Colorado. A gunman walks into Walmart. We've talked about this many times over the last several years. I don't understand this type of violence. I don't understand a criminal mind. And in your line of work, doesn't it just tear your heart apart to see stuff like this?
Well, I mean, it seems to be happening more and more. And I think a lot of it, again, in my opinion, is it's the lack of respect for human life.
Where does that come from? See, that's what I don't understand.
Well, I think it happens. I mean, I'm no expert, no psychiatrist, but I think if you look over the years, the lack of respect, period, the lack of respect for authority, the lack of respect for each other, it's eroded over the years, and I think it's not being taught at home. I don't think it's been taught in school anymore. And
can it be taught in schools?
Well,
because they've taken a lot of the disciplinary actions out of the schools.
Well, the discipline can. I mean, respect can be taught. Has to be taught, and I don't care if it's still going to hit. I mean, it's going to sink in, and whether it's ever used or not. And certainly, every mind's different, and every person's different. But I still think, again, in my opinion, that a lot of our problems go back to the fact that there's just no respect for virtually anything anymore.
What impact has the Colin Kaepernick thing had in the last 2 years? You know, with what's going on in NFL football, you know, a lot of people say, I'm going to watch NFL, I'm not doing this because of Colin Kaepernick, who's not even in the NFL, but still these protests are going on. That's a form, in my opinion, of disrespect for our military, for our veterans, for those that have lost their lives. You know, perish the thought if anybody would take a knee on November 11th during the national anthem. That'd just be heartbreaking. But is this another example of lack of respect?
Well, I think
tolerated lack of respect, I should say.
And I think it is. Now, again, I protest if they want to protest, if they want to take a knee when they walk out of that stadium, that's their business. And I'm sure a lot of you got some of the listeners and viewers today that are going to be going, oh, no, I disagree with you, and that's okay. This is America. You can disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not watching football. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, have been my entire life. I've not watched a single game, and I don't plan to this year. Now, again, that's my right to do so. But it's because of that lack of respect. So those players, if they want to walk outside that stadium, if they want to do it in the mall, if they want to do it on the sidewalk out front before or after the game, that's fine. But they're on the owner's time, they're on my time, if you will, and so no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm just one person, and I realize that, and me by myself is not going to make an impact. And I'm not even really trying to make an impact. It's just the fact that I'm not going to. It's kind of like if you're my friend and someone else continues to trash you, I don't have to listen to them continues to trash you. That's, and that's fine. They don't have to like you, but I don't have to listen to them trash you either.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this case, if they don't like what America stands for, and they don't like the military, that's their right. But I don't have to listen to it, and I don't have to view it, and I'm not going to.
Go back to the Colorado shooting where 3 people lost their lives at Walmart. How do we determine what this guy was thinking?
But Dale, I don't. Here's the issue. The issue is trying to get. That's not trying to figure out what he was thinking. In one sense, yeah, that's great to know what his mindset was. But the way our country has just come up with trying to be politically correct, and I was watching the news, and they were talking about New York City, how what we would call normal police work. And I heard an analogy last night that I thought was excellent. If I'm looking to grab a coat to put on this morning, I don't go to the refrigerator. You go to the closet because that's where the coats are generally kept. So if you've got crime, it's kind of like, and I'll use drunk drivers. Do I typically sit outside of a church to look for drunk drivers? And the answer is no. That's not where typically you look. And so in the case up there, normal police work, trying to put undercover people and trying to infiltrate some of these terrorist cells, and then New York's police chief, mayor says, nope, sorry, we got to be politically correct because you might offend somebody. Well, you're talking about the safety of America's public. So I think a lot of what's happened, what's in their mind, I don't know that you're ever going to particularly know, and it will take weeks to figure that out if you can.
Well, I've even heard that the terrorist in New York was on a diversity visa, one of those tolerant visas that, well, yeah, we're not going to stereotype or call him a certain title and welcome him in. They said Channel 3 had a news reel on it. I think it was last night that he had been arrested either in St. Louis or Kansas City, something with a trucking incident in a waste scale. And said he had a run-in with the law 2 years ago in Missouri, had Missouri ties. And even the FBI was looking at this guy then, but nothing was done.
No, because again, and part of it, I get, you can't just, just because you don't like somebody, you can't just go deport them. I fully understand that. But when you've got criminals who are breaking the law, and you've got gang members, and we're going to let them continue to stay, but the whole culture of America has changed. And you've heard me talk about prisons and repeat offenders almost every show, and you might not be shocked. Our prisons in Arkansas now they give a lot of the inmates electronic tablets.
I don't even have an electronic tablet.
But
and they get them free?
There's several of them, different depending on the group, gets them free. And so you got Wi-Fi set up to make them work. Prisons are no longer prisons. There's no fear in going to prison. There's no punishment in prison anymore. And so again, we've got to our world we've got to be so politically correct, and we got to the poor guy, and we've got to rehabilitate everybody. I'm sorry, the terrorists are not going to be rehabilitated. They have been indoctrinated with all of that hatred to the point they are not going to be rehabilitated. And so, no, we don't need them in our country, period.
Do we glorify crime and murder and gun violence on TV and movies? I know it's entertainment, but can there be, and I've even asked the governor this in various times, have we ever tried to analyze a criminal mind, but the difference between fantasy and reality? Now, say you get an 8, 9, 10-year-old that gets home, say at 3:45 in the afternoon, they turn the TV on, it's not monitored, mom and dad's at work till 5:30 or 6. Who knows what they're watching? The violence on the video games. Can that be a factor?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's been studies done on that, whether it does or doesn't, and it depends on which study you look at, depends on whether they think it does or doesn't. I guess the best analogy, from me personally, I rarely curse. Okay, I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect, and sometimes I'll let something slip, but it's rare that I do. It's just never been in my nature. However, I can go back over the years, and when I worked night shifts, I cursed more working nights than probably any time else. And even now, I can take you and show you officers that if they, because they don't rotate shifts, so if they get moved from a night shift to a day shift, you'll typically find their language is not good because they've been immersed and they're around all of the other people, and that's the type of people they deal with. So I can't help but believe that there is not at least some correlation to that.
So how do you, as a police officer, what's the right way to ask this question? Let me think for a minute. How do you stay happy? I mean, can you turn it off when you lock the door at whatever time?
Isn't there a song, Don't Worry?
Jerry, you want to cue that up?
Well, first of all, I mean,
it's got to weigh on your demeanor.
We encourage the officers to turn it off. Don't take it home. But the truth of the matter is, when you're dealing with law enforcement, first responders, whether it's firemen, policemen, etc., there's a lot of stress. And when you look, there's unfortunately a high rate of divorce. There's a high rate of domestic violence. And so we encourage our officers to try to turn it off, do things that to help with that stress level. And then you've got the command staff who really don't get to turn it off because they have to take phone calls throughout the night and on the weekends. And then you have the jail staff who, again, you think about what the conditions they're put under. So it's a very high-stress job.
I started to say, because, for me, did I pay the electric bill on time when I thought, oh, yeah, I think I did. But, you kind of, that's a different stress level.
Well, and
think like a surgeon. A surgeon could have high stress level just like a policeman.
Yes.
It's a totally different type of stress.
Right. It weighs on them. And when you see the blood and gore at times, and when you see that child that's been hurt, and that's the hardest part for me, is when I'm dealing with children who have been molested or hurt, even in an accident or whatever. That's the hardest part for me. So there's that stress level.
How do you control the emotions? I mean, if you've got a child, and not any particular age, and I know what you're saying. It's got to just.
And I'm sure that there's probably times where you have a hard time going home and just letting it go.
Well, I don't want to let it go when I go home.
Yeah.
I don't want Karen to have to deal with that stress level. I mean, that's so a lot of you just have to have different outlets. Now, I am very fortunate, and I have a beautiful view. I live in a small house, but I have a beautiful view, and so a lot of times I go home and just sit there and stare, at the river flowing by, so to speak, and that is a way. I also I like to do things with my hands, so building, woodworking, doing projects around the house. That's my, of course, sort of my stress release.
So could this shooting in Colorado been a stress reliever? I mean, as stupid as it sounds, could it have been? I don't know. It just bothers me that we're always saying, well, gun, gun, gun. The gun didn't crawl out of the holster and walk into Walmart and kill those 3 people. It was an evil mind, a deranged mind or something.
That's right.
And that's what bothers me, is we're not looking at the problem, we're looking at the weapon used. I mean, had he walked in with a bow and arrow, people say, wonder why he's got a bow and arrow. And probably stopped him before it happened. But we've even had murders in the county with a claw hammer.
Oh, yeah.
So what, I got to have a license to go to Sears and buy a claw hammer?
Well,
I mean,
as
stupid
I've
as
always
it sounds.
said, I mean, it's not, it is not the gun, it's the person that's pulling the trigger. And so, and not everybody agrees, and that's, that's the debate that goes on and on and on. But
I know. It boggles the mind, but I don't know. And I don't know what the answer is, but when we're talking about respect, how do we re-teach? And I know you reach out to a lot, and I'm looking at your website here. Scooter, can we get the sheriff's website on? This is an amazing picture right here. If we can superimpose that here, it shows the Baxter County Sheriff's Office helicopter there, and there's a little boy with an American flag, and he's waving at the chopper pilot here. And I think the school resource officer programs in the schools, I firmly support that and appreciate the funding for that. But I think that's an outstanding source of teaching respect, because those officers work day in and day out with those students that come into those schools.
Well, I don't think there's any one answer that's going to fix this, and I agree with you. I think that program is invaluable for the students, for the community. But it is a respect thing, and so it's not that the policeman is any better than anybody else. But when I was a kid growing up, there were certain, while we were taught to respect our elders, and you always said, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, to an adult, we were also sort of put on notice. You do not disrespect the preacher. You do not disrespect the teacher or the policeman. Those are just things you better not do, because while you may be in trouble for the other, you'll really be in trouble. Mm-hmm. So we were taught that respect for authority. Yep. And so what you see now, even I've heard this from many of the teachers, if I got in trouble at school, I got in trouble at home.
Oh, yeah.
And after I got in trouble at home, then they'd ask me, okay, what happened? Okay.
That proverbial note from the teacher.
You know, and now it doesn't matter what the student does. The parents are up there screaming, and I've dealt with this so many times.
Oh, yeah.
My son would not do that. My son would never lie to me.
Then they get an attorney, and then they call some lobby group or something. Visit with Sheriff Montgomery, Baxter County Sheriff. How about a nice break there? I can use some more coffee.
Jerry?
I need some more 10W30 over here. Hey, if you haven't enjoyed Brewed Awakening Coffee yet, check them out. 3 locations to serve you out by Walmart East Plaza. You can get in on the camera. Come on. Oh, yeah, there you go. Anyway, Scooter, scoot up some breaks. Check out Brewed Awakening Coffee. Best coffee in town.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Hello, I'm Charles Ferguson. Here at Mountain View Chevrolet, we still do business the old-fashioned way with honesty and integrity. And we have a good inventory of new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs from large to small. Our service department has all GM certified technicians, and our friendly salespeople are ready and eager to fit a car truck to your needs in a price range you can afford. We also have a lot full of pre-owned cars and trucks, program and new car trade-ins to choose from. So come see us at Mountain View Chevrolet.
If you want the best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with the pie lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home.
More than just propane, Reeves Propane provides you full-service propane delivery as well as tank and piping installation. We are your dependable choice, offering the very best in personal service with on-time deliveries and competitive prices. Reeves Propane also sells and installs tankless water heaters and appliances and can even convert your gas cook stove to liquid propane. So no need to fuss and cuss about bad service. Call us at Reeves Propane. We greatly appreciate your business and God bless.
Coming in 2018, VHF Archery Range, brought to you by DeerHunterFan.com TV and Steadyform. This 10,000 square foot indoor climate-controlled archery range will feature 3D targets, 3D pop-up, and state-of-the-art video shooting. DHF Archery Range will be open to the public and available for all ages. It's a great facility for hunters and archers alike and located in the center of the Ozarks in beautiful Bull Shoals, Arkansas. That's DHF Archery Range, coming in 2018. Keep on the lookout for more details and their grand opening announcement soon.
Have you ever?
Welcome back to Down on the Corner here on XO7 TV, visiting right now with Sheriff John Montgomery, and let's talk a little bit about the tax. It passed.
It did. It passed. We were very happy it passed. We were ecstatic that it passed with such an overwhelming margin.
Burden lifted.
I think the roughly 70-30 helped pass it. And it's going to, while everybody keeps saying, well, now you're out of, everything's great now. No, everything's not great. We still have 2 years before we will be completed, most likely. And that doesn't solve all of our issues, but it's going to help with many of our issues. So
you actually get the funding needed to run The sheriff's office and jail.
Well, the sheriff's, yes. Now, we have two separate budgets,
Right.
and a lot of people don't realize that we have a sheriff's office budget, we have the jail budget, and so what happens, obviously the jail, my jail budget runs the operation of the jail. Pretty obvious. The sheriff's office budget encompasses school resource officers. It encompasses the patrol you see down on the street. It encompasses the detectives that work the criminal cases, the office staff that's up front that has to take care of all of that. So it encompasses all of that. And what happens, because it still falls under my umbrella, both of them, when you run short in the jail, then I have to jump over on the other side to try to make cuts to make up for the difference. Now, since we have to pay for all the medical of all the inmates and when you're overcrowded, you can't, you can try to budget for some of those things, and there's only limited dollars, so our budget has never been what it should have been. There's times when we have to make serious cuts over on the sheriff's side just to make up the difference. So in this case, why it's going to be so huge for us, one, we're going to add another 50 to 60 beds, which is going to be great for the space problem that we're having. But there's going to be a lot of those are isolation cells, so we can actually isolate the troublemakers and those things that we can't do now. But it's going to be now self-funded, so we should never have to go back over to the sheriff's side and start making drastic cuts.
Right.
I mean, there's some years where we have to park patrol cars and only answer a call if it's an emergency call. And we've had to do that in the past, and so that's how it's going to help both sides of the equation.
So explain, let's go back, because this is basically new. When does the tax start? And there's basically two different parameters on this. Take a minute and just go back and re-explain when it starts, when it ends, and when one picks up.
Well, our concept, and we think it was a good concept, and the voters, I think, believed it was a good concept.
2 to 3 to 1, wasn't it?
Right. And so instead of going like the traditional, like our neighbor Marion County or Franklin County or Woodruff County, typically what they do is they come up with a cost estimate of the jail. They go out and they borrow the money, and they do a bond issue, and they sell bonds, and so it takes typically usually it's a half-cent tax, and so it'll take 12 to 14 years to pay it back. Well, you're going to be paying that for the next 12 to 14 years. We tried something different. We said, let's just do it during the summer. So we passed a penny sales tax that's only going to be collected during the summer. And of course, we have many of our visitors here, summer visitors that come, and they're going to help pay for that. So in 6 months, we're going to collect and build the jail. We're not having to sell bonds. We're not having to do the borrowing of the money, et cetera, and sell the bonds. We think that's a unique approach, and I think the voters did too. The quarter cent does not begin until January 1st of 2019.
2019.
So basically, when the jail is, and there's a couple of month delay, before the county actually sees it. So we're looking at March, April. Well, that's about the time we think, somewhere in that time frame, that the jail will be completed, that expansion. So and that's part of why we did it that way. Rather than put the burden back on the taxpayers, once that jail's completed, then the revenue will be there in order to run the facility.
I think it was a brilliant idea, because let's pray for a good tourist season in 2018. With the floods and stuff, it wasn't as good as it could have been, but we fill up the resorts, the campgrounds, and everything, and
yeah, and we based our numbers and figures over the last I think it was 3 years put together. And you're right, this was not a great year, but that was part of our formula. So if we do have I would just say a decent tourist season next year,
and the World Series is coming back.
Yeah. So we feel very good about what we're doing. But yeah, that's. So we're the tax, the 1 penny tax will not begin until April 1st next year, and it will end September 30th. So you've got 6 months during the prime time
of the year.
And then again, January 1st of 2019 is when the quarter cent will pick in, and it'll run.
Now, in good old hard cash, what's that going to cost me when I spend $10 or $100?
Well, for that 6 month period of time, and you go spend $100, it's going to cost you an extra $1. Okay.
Worth it
for that 6 months. After that that period goes over, which we'll have collected, then when you go to the store and you spend $100, it'll cost you a quarter.
Oh my.
That's and yes, it's a tax. I don't like taxes better than anybody else, but we're talking about public safety. And again, people, I think, I mean, they love this area. They love everything this area has to offer, and they feel safe here, and they want to continue to feel safe here. And so it costs money to do that.
When you think about it, and spending $100 at Harps or Town and Country or Walmart for weekly necessities, that's not uncommon. Most generally, you could cover $300 to $400 of the tax by couch cushion change.
Well,
when you think about it,
yeah, and the other side of it too, when you're talking about groceries, they've cut the tax on the back. Yeah. They've cut the tax back on the groceries, so well more than what this would cost you. So again, I don't like the tax. There was a few folks that were upset with me because we proposed this, but
I think it's the smartest way to handle it.
I think it is, and I think the voters agreed with me. And and the problem, I'm from the conservative nature that I am, and the way I was brought up, and I don't like the tax. I don't like even proposing the tax, but I'm also been elected and charged with trying to keep this community safe, and so it's a balancing act. And again, we felt like there just was not another option. We were out of options, and so we did this in such a way that we think it's going to be. And by the way, the quarter and the penny don't happen at the same time.
No,
now that's typically they do, but in our case, we purposely waited.
One ends, and you wait almost 6 months.
Well, it's about 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
Yeah.
October 31st, Halloween. Typical cities, violence.
Nothing here.
Easy night.
Yeah, and of course it's different. I worked for the City Mountain Home for a long time, and it's a whole different ball game because there's communities and subdivisions and so on and so forth. So you're going to have lots of more trick-or-treaters in the town than you do out in the county.
Normally it's a night of mischief for some kids.
Not here. We rarely have a problem. We haven't in years. We typically, the city and the county both put extra officers out. There's a lot of education done on the front end. That we put out tips and so on and so forth in a lot of the speaking groups that we do during that last 30 days talking about Halloween. We rarely have a problem.
That says a lot for law enforcement.
Well, it says a lot for
leadership.
This community that it's it's our community. We're all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the beauty, and why one of the reasons I love this area so much is because people take pride in their community, the majority, and that's why they report crime when they see it. That doesn't happen in a lot of your bigger cities. They just turn their head and keep their mouth shut. Now, we get lots and lots of calls and tips on reporting crime or not just reporting, but who possible suspects are, or when they learn about it, they pass it along, and that helps.
I just wonder what went on in Pine Bluff, West Memphis, North Little Rock. I know they're bigger cities, but, you'd probably be pulling your hair out in places like that on Halloween night.
Well, and it's not just bigger cities. It's a different, when I say different cultures, it's not meant in a racial way. It's just a whole different attitude,
way of thinking.
Different way of thinking. We are blessed here. We truly are.
Scooter, you got anything to add over there?
No, I'm with you. That was going to be one of my questions. Is just curious. Halloween. You think talking to some shops at other place I live.
Yeah.
That's all the crazies come out. It's kind of where they put it.
But. Years gone by back in the St. Louis area, they'd throw eggs and knock over mailboxes. I'm not trying to give kids any ideas, but that's destruction.
Well,
that's mischief,
yeah,
and
we'll occasionally get some of that. I mean. Again, in town more so, but you'll occasionally get some of that. But widespread, no.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Awesome. It is. It says a lot for the communities. And then what about Cotter and Gassville, Norfolk? Just really no issue. Big Flat.
I've not heard. Not heard any major issues that's happened.
Wow. Before we go to break, what else do you need to talk about? Let's talk a little bit about the website.
Website continues. We've made a change and I kind of changed it up a little bit, and I think we've had a lot of positive comments on it. And of course now we have the mobile app. If you've not tried the mobile app, go to your app store, whether you have an iPhone or an Android, just go to your app store, type in Baxter County Sheriff. It usually will pop up, say Baxter County Sheriff Arkansas. Click on it. It's free download. And it's a quick interactive way that you can check our website and click on inmate roster, for example, and you can see who's in jail real time. And then at the same time, you can get alerts. I know, Dale, we talk about it every morning, 6 a.m.
6 a.m. Bing!
Bing. You get an alert. It tells you everybody that's been booked in or released from jail in the last 24 hours.
And I know when I hear bing, if I'm out of the shower, I'm on time.
Now, let me tell you, I've got to brag a little bit about the website because the website has continued to grow in popularity. Now, Baxter County is roughly, 41,000 people. So we were ecstatic 2 years ago when we topped 2 million visitors.
Say that again?
2 years ago, we topped 2 million. Last year, we topped 2 million visits to the website. I checked, and on October 31st, we well over 2 million already. The mobile app has
made that much of a difference.
It's because it's easy. It's not a traditional website where, I mean, you think about why would you normally go to a law enforcement website? Find a phone number, an address. Yeah. This is a working website. You can submit a tip. On your mobile app up here, it says submit a crime tip.
Can we go back to that screen, Scooter? I'll show them right here. Right here, it's very simple. It's
there it is.
Okay, it's coming up now. Right here where it says submit a crime tip. You click on that right there.
And you can upload photos if you've got photos of, and people will, if they've got a drug house, for example, they suspect. We don't want anyone to get hurt, but sometimes they'll snap a picture of the license plate of the vehicles and they'll submit those. And it's anonymous. You don't have to tell us who you are.
Yeah, email optional. You don't have to, and it goes right through.
Yep.
So
it has been a tremendous tool. Most wanted. People look on that. We get tips on people on the most wanted all the time. Inmate roster. Sex offenders, and it was a big hit around on Halloween. We looked at that, and that was lots and lots of people went to the sex offender page because
know which road to go down and let your kids trick or treat.
Exactly, and there's balloons that shows you exactly where they live and the picture and so on and so forth. So the website's been a tremendous tool for us.
That's awesome.
Time for a break, Scooter.
All right,
we'll be right back with Sharon and Jennifer Porter's here. Stick around. Be right back.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Hello, I'm Charles Ferguson. Here at Mountain View Chevrolet, we still do business the old-fashioned way with honesty and integrity. And we have a good inventory of new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs from large to small. Our service department has all GM certified technicians, and our friendly salespeople are ready and eager to fit a car truck to your needs in a price range you can afford. We also have a lot full of pre-owned cars and trucks, program and new car trade-ins to choose from. So come see us at Mountain View Chevrolet.
If you want the best breakfast or lunch in the Twin Lakes area, then you've got to come to the Old Time Restaurant. Voted the best breakfast and lunch for 2011, the Old Time Restaurant not only gives you the Southern hospitality right when you walk in the door, they also offer scrumptious breakfast options to curb that early morning appetite. Or stop in later in the day for a tasty sandwich, salad, or a daily special. If a sweet tooth is your guilty pleasure, you can't go wrong with the Pie Lady cooking out over 30 different types of pies. That's the Old Time Restaurant located on the square in Mountain Home.
More than just propane, Reeves Propane provides you full-service propane delivery, as well as tank and piping installation. We are your dependable choice, offering the very best in personal service with on-time deliveries and competitive prices. Reeves Propane also sells and installs tankless water heaters and appliances, and can even convert your gas cook stove to liquid propane. So no need to fuss and cuss about bad service. Call us at Reeves Propane. We greatly appreciate your business, and God bless. Coming in 2018, VHF Archery Range, brought to you by DeerHunterFan.com TV and Steadyform. This 10,000 square foot indoor climate-controlled archery range will feature 3D targets, 3D pop-up, and state-of-the-art video shooting. VHF Archery Range will be open to the public and available for all ages. It's a great facility for hunters and archers alike, and located in the center of the Ozarks in beautiful Bull Shoals, Arkansas. That's DHF Archery Range, coming in 2018. Keep on the lookout for more details and their grand opening announcement soon.
Have you ever?
Welcome back to the final segment of Down on the Corner on this November 2nd. John Montgomery, our sheriff, and Jennifer Porter's here. Welcome.
Thank you.
How you been? So what's going on with you today?
Oh, we're preparing for a fall food truck festival on the square benefiting Serenity. So that's been my big project now for a couple of months. I have 8 food trucks that have come from around the area, some from Missouri, some from Arkansas. A lot of exciting food, a lot of exciting people, and we have 2 bands to be playing. We have 9N from 11 to 2, and then we have Afterburner, which is part of the Burning Daylight band that everyone loves so much, and they'll be the last band from 3 to 5. So no one's done this on the square before, so I'm super nervous. I can't say enough about Mayor Dillard and Mickey Pendergrass. They have been incredibly helpful. You know, they have that huge stage they're going to set out for us. In fact, they were making jokes that that stage was so popular to people that it has its own calendar. So they've been incredibly nice, and they're going to have to shut off a portion of the street, and they're taking care of that for us too. So, I mean, we're just so blessed to have so many great people helping out.
Tell us about Serenity and what you do.
Serenity is a domestic violence shelter, but we're not just a shelter. We provide a lot of outreach services as well. A lot of people don't realize that. Probably half of our clients are women who just really need some advice. They want to know what their options are. They like a little help with filling out legal documents, that kind of thing. So a lot of what we do, over half actually, is offering therapeutic conversations and legal assistance in terms of recommendations. We house about 188 women a year with a small staff. We're totally grant and donation funded. We actually have a section for men. We've had a couple of men who actually stayed with us. They have their own little housing section, so they're separate from everyone else, but that makes us pretty novel. In fact, that we actually do that. We also allow people to bring their pets, which has become very important because small children don't want to leave, you know, their puppy or their kitty, and we've even had the children bring their fish. So we're super proud of being able to do that.
Well, Sheriff, domestic violence in the county, is how bad is it?
Well, I would say it's a growing problem, and we are thankful, so thankful for Serenity to be a resource. And again, we can't make anyone do anything, and that's a decision that typically women, it's not always, but typically women have to make, and that's a tough decision in many ways. But what we can do is we can hand out material to the victim, which again refers back to Serenity and a lot of the resources they offer, and they have just been a true. I consider them a partner in it, but no, it's a growing problem for sure.
But what's the preventive medicine on this? Is there any?
I don't think there's preventive medicine. What you see, and Melinda, who's our therapist, she and I have these discussions often because there's a a trend or a personality trait that you see in people. You know, women with lower self-esteem tend to be more apt to stay in those scenarios. Also, women with less resources. If you don't have a family that'll take you in, you don't have monetary resources to stay at a hotel or to rent a separate home, you're really dependent on the husband for that. Those are the women who tend to either go back or who stay, mostly out of fear. You know, what's my life going to be like? Am I going to be able to take care of myself? Am I going to be able to feed my children? And that's, you know, as a woman, I can honestly say that would be terrifying, you know, not knowing what your life's going to be like.
So they have to be scared to death.
They are. And a lot of women who come and stay with us, I think their biggest fear about success is, you know, they've been so emotionally battered by the things that this person's done and said to them that a lot of them really believe that no one's ever going to love them again. And that's like, it's one of those things that people don't often talk about, the emotional impact.
Okay, but let's stop right there. When they say loved again, and they go back into that relationship, and then it starts all over again with the violence.
Usually when they go back, it's not so much the emotional aspect. It's if they need security, that's quite often when you have recidivism.
Right.
If they feel like they have nowhere to go. I mean, to be frank, if you're going to come and stay at our shelter, it means you don't have your own resources. You don't have parents who are going to take you in. You don't have money to go to a hotel. You don't have your own assets to go ahead and rent your own home. So the women who come and stay in a shelter, I mean, how many people would want to stay in a shelter unless you had to? They really don't have anything to help themselves, and that's why they stay with us. So there are plenty of women that we don't hear about, that we don't get to talk to, who have resources or have parents who can take them in, things like that, who don't come to our shelter. So the demographic that we assist is a little different than the broad scheme of things. However, they are the majority of women who are battered. And and children, that's a big thing. We've been talking a lot about children. Children who are in a battered home are more apt to either tolerate battering later on if they're a female generally, or if they're a male, they're more apt to be a batterer because it's what you see. When you're a small child, you know, you go by, it's not intentional, of course, you go by what you see every day, how people behave, that's how you end up behaving, how people make their living, that's how you think it's okay to make your living. So they're heavily influenced. I think the most important thing that we can do is to end that for the whole family unit, you know, not just for mom, but the whole family. And it's so wonderful to be able to help the children in the shelter. We have play groups, playrooms based on age, and we go out of our way to assist them with whatever they need. We had a little boy who was autistic. I think it's been 2 years now. And he came in and he was clutching this, well, we thought it was a lizard. It was a bearded dragon, and he was like holding it like this. He was about 4 years old. And he didn't bring anything, and mom, of course, to put him in, and we didn't know what he was or how to feed him or anything. And of course, happily, we'll take him in and we'll find a little bowl for the evening, because it's an evening event that we receive people. So we called Allpet. Joanna is a miracle worker, and she said, "Well, send me a picture." So we sent one over to her, and she goes, "Oh, that's a bearded dragon. I'll send food over." So, you know, it's the little,
take care of it.
Absolutely, it's the little things like that I think that makes a difference for children. You know, we have teddy bear when they arrive. They get clean clothes if they don't have any with them, and that's a big thing too. Sometimes people come with just the clothing on their back, and we have a lot of resources to offer clothing and needs as well. So
when's the fundraiser again? Let's recap that real
It's
quick.
Saturday from 11 to 5 on the square.
On November 4th.
Yes.
Coming up.
Yes. I'm very nervous, actually.
Tomorrow, aren't you?
I am. I'm really nervous. So
Sure,
I mean, it's the first time anything like this has been done in Mountain Home, a food truck festival. So that makes me even more nervous for the success. But you know,
and you got good weather for it.
We do. It's going to be 80+ degrees. I'm very excited about that. I was really worried a week ago. I was like, it's going to rain. So anyway, thank you guys so much. I can't say enough about the sheriff and about his staff, and they do an amazing job. And it's
really
tough.
Do.
It's tough to deal with domestic
violence.
violence.
Proud of our sheriff. Yeah. Final thoughts, Sheriff Montgomery.
We are blessed. We're all in this together.
Yep.
And I believe that, and that's why, you know, we talk about Serenity being a partner, and I know they consider us a partner, and them, and again, it's people helping people, and that's why we're so blessed in this area.
Community. Wow. Scooter, what do you think? Ready to wrap it up?
I try not to. It hurts. Yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Sheriff Montgomery, Jennifer Porter for being here, Jerry Hogan over there watching Bugs Bunny. We'll see you tomorrow. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.